Activity number 4 for the week 9 of the CATIA CAD class, winter of 2026. Now, we're going to be looking at the featuring functionality which was introduced to CATIA V5 after release 21. So it has been around for some time, but if you have an older version than 21, higher than 21, you will not be able to access this feature. What I have here, I did this problem in class, and for the activity, you're expected to go and download the SDP file that I created, uh, and my CATIA model that I did in class looks something like that. It's a block like so, and then there are several holes here. There is one hole, two, and three, and this one, which looks like a hole, is actually a pocket. And I have several fillets of different radii, 5, 10, 15, and 10, and a chamfer down here, 5 millimeter. What I'd like to do is uh, defeature some of these based on the instructions that I give. The icon for defeaturing is in part design feature recognition, and it's this one. So if you had anything older than 21, you will, or 21, you will not be able to see this last one. And there we are. So let me go ahead and read that SDP file. So file open, and I believe this is the one, activity 4. Yeah, right there. Good. Okay, so let me make this thing a little bit smaller because I want to be able to put these dimensions next to me like so. Okay? Yeah. Maybe I make this thing a little bit smaller. All right. Okay. So here is the featuring icon. You can see that. You click on it. This guy opens up. And notice that with a plus sign here, you can say what is it that you want to defeature. And there's a menu here. There's a chamfer. There's a draft. I don't have a drafted face here, but you can fill it. Logo, if you did have a logo on this part, maybe for manufacturing purposes or marketing purposes, you can defeature that. And then there's a hole. Okay, so let me start with a. Uh, let's say chamfer. Or actually, I'll start with the filter for fillet filter. Okay, good. This thing opens up. And here you have quite a few options. Actually, you can say uh, basically get anything between a certain radius to certain radio, a range, and defeature them. For example, let's say that I say here between anything between, let's say, 5 and 10. Okay, so get fillets with radii between 5 and 10 millimeter. So okay, all right, good. And then if you say preview here, it should not take the one which is 15, which is the one back there. Preview. Notice that they took the one 5, 10, 10, and then if you say okay, it's going to defeature them. All right. Now let's say that you want to defeature the one that's 15. So you click on this thing again, another one, filter, a single value. I don't need this thing maximum. You can either increase that, or you can just say uh, just uncheck. Well, let's say 15, and then say okay. Preview. It took that one, and if I say okay, this is going to be gone. Good. What about the chamfer? The chamfer is down here. For example, I click on this thing and select the chamfer. By the way, you can add several of these at the same time and then defeature them at the same time, but that's okay. I'm not going to do that. Chamfer filter. Now here, it looks like you can find ranges of things, but I'm not confident about that because I tried. Maybe I did something wrong. It didn't work. But anyway, you say okay. Notice that here it says chamfer all chord value length values. Okay, and then preview, and then say okay. It's going to be gone. Maybe I did something wrong with that range of chamfer values, but anyway, so you can try it now. Uh, Notice that the defeaturing appears in the tree. You can undo whatever you want, delete it. But for example, if I go to the last one, and if I delete this, it'll come back. Okay? Or you can change stuff from here too. All right. So let me press F3 so that I don't have to see this. F3. Good. Now let's do some holes. So you click on this, add holes, you feature holes. Here you can give range, for example, range of diameters between, say, 5 and 10. So it should defeature, uh, uh, these three. Okay, actually, yeah, these three. Okay, these three. Or let me make this thing minimum diameter 5, maximum diameter 10. Say okay, preview. Notice that these three fit into that category, and I say okay, it's gone. Let me do a Control Z because you should try something else too. Control Z, come back. Yeah. So let's click on it again, and then again hole diameter, hole diameter. Let's actually make it 15 and 15. 15 and 15. So my guess is that it's going to take only this hole. Yeah. So it doesn't work like that. So maybe if I uncheck this 15, now say okay, and preview. Yeah. So it's going to go like that. When you want a specific diameter, so you can't put a range in there. Let's try another one. Say hole, again hole. Let's make this thing 10. It should take the ones on the top. Although one of them is a pocket, just keep that in mind, but it treats it as a hole. Yeah. So it's very useful because sometimes when you read an SDP file, there may be a lot of fillets, small holes that you want to defeature them because perhaps you want to do a finite time analysis. You don't want to use those very tiny fillets and tiny holes because it affects the mesh distribution. So you may want to defeature them and then start from that point on. That's pretty much it, folks. Before I go, I just want to point out to you. Let me cancel that for a second, and I'm going to close this. I'm going to read this again. File open. Here's the SDP file. As I said, you don't have to do these one at a time. What you can do, for example, you can go and say, all right, let's feature a few things. For example, I want to add a hole, and I want to get all the holes which are 10 millimeters in diameter. So, okay. And I want to add another filter with fillets, maybe everything between 5 and 5 and uh, 5 and 10. Okay. So, okay. And then maybe another one, chamfer, any chamfer. If I say preview, It's going to take care of all of those at the same time. Yeah. So it's something good to know.